Welcome back to Shop Cycle Garage, where today we hope to finally take a test drive in our 1985 IROC clone project car. Aslan's working on some wiring for some gauges since none of the factory gauges work. I just put all those back. So Aslan's going to wire in some cheapy gauges for now that we found. And then once we get gauges wired in, we might see if the car will move under its own for the first time in 18 years. But for now, we're going to wire in some stuff, so we'll be back to you in just a minute. How's the gauge wiring going? No.
It's stuck.
It's stuck?
Yeah.
Stuck on there?
Yes.
Then
but it's not all the way on.
That's okay. It's almost on there. I'll check it. So Aslan put some Velcro up there to Velcro these gauges on, and yeah, I forgot to buy some split wire loom to cover those wires up, but that's okay. Making a thing to mount the switch for the fan underneath the other switch for the other fan, so that way we can have the fan on whether the car's running or not. The ECM was not telling the fan when to come on, so we're going to tell it when to come on with a switch, and it's down there. But Aslan's working on getting this. I think we're going to try to paint our mount black just so it matches. Alright, well there's our little mount we made. There's an ant on it. The mount we made for the fan switch. Aslan's going to go ahead and paint it black so that it matches somewhat. So give her a go whenever you're ready.
How far away?
Just a little closer, probably.
Like that?
Yep, that's good. There you go. Perfect. Nice quick paint. We'll let that dry for a bit, see what it looks like, and see if we need more. I don't know. It's probably fine. Right? If you got some...
barely any on the back.
Well, that's good. We tried not to, she tried not to get any on that part because we're going to use Velcro on that top part to mount it on there.
There's just some on the curve.
What?
There's just some on the curved.
There's some on the curved?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can get that mounted in there. We'll let that dry in the sun for a few minutes while we tuck away some wires and do some other things and then see where we're at. And maybe then we'll be able to put that switch, well, we can test it without the switch in place as long as it works, right? So we'll probably need to get the charger on this one to make sure it'll start and move out of the way, and then maybe we can see if that one will move under its own power.
Off the stuff that's on top of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on top of it, so let's clean some stuff up, and I'll put the charger on this one, and then we'll let that dry and go from there. Alright, we're going to give this thing a shot and see if it will move for the first time on its own in over 18 years. We got oil pressure. We got voltage. Probably can't hear me. We're going to go ahead and turn the fan on our handy little thing that we made. See if we can back up. We are moving. We're very vibrating. Belt must be a little bit tight or something. We have no fuel gauge. We got a check engine light. No idea what's happening. Let's see if we can go forward. We can go forward.
Gonna get Mom.
And we got good brakes. And we're gonna run over Mama. Works. Speedometer is definitely not working. Brakes work. that's going to do it for this one. You saw us get the car out on the road finally for the first time in 18 years that it's ran on its own. We got a transmission with all 4 gears. And that's the reason it was sitting for 18 years, was no transmission. But we got one now, and it's running a little bit rough, but the computer probably needs to wake up and figure out what life is since it's been asleep for 18 years. So hopefully we'll just drive it some more. We made a few laps. Hasn't only recorded a couple, running down the road and back. We didn't go too far, just in case we had a problem. We'd have to call somebody to come and get us. So we don't want that. We're still missing a couple gauges. Oil pressure gauge is being finicky, so we may need to get a new sending unit for that. And we got to finish a couple odds and ends. But as of right now, we're on track for where we wanted to be to start getting this thing. To start getting some miles on this thing, and be ready to take it on Power Tour. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And
Don't forget to eat your popsicles.
I'm glad you got that one because it's gross. You know we got a mess to clean up, right? We made a big mess, but we'll clean it up. Or she will.